huge undertaking at all. I will tell you why this is great news for the PS4 Pro and share the Horizon PS4 Pro details. Let me know what you think in the comments down below and don't forget to hit that like button. Herman Hulst, the managing director of Guerrilla Games, talked about the PS4 Pro support of Horizon Zero Dawn in the magazine Games TM. Read that if you want that great insight. It's a great article saying that, quote, "It's not a huge undertaking in terms of resources dedicated to this, not at all actually," end quote. As Sony first party studio, Sony of course owns Guerrilla Games, they have to be very close to the wire with the PS4 Pro. Hulst said that when they heard about the PS4 Pro they started working on it and that they are very excited about the machine and what it means for the game. I mean, look for yourself. This Horizon Zero Dawn footage from the PS4 Pro looks amazing. Interesting to note is that the gameplay we saw during the E3 2015 and the E3 2016 and even the preview event that was like, yeah, very recent of course, were all running on a normal PS4. So don't worry, the game will be fine and super awesome on your base PS4, but even prettier on the PS4 Pro. So if you got a 1080p screen with the PS4 Pro, the game will have a better image quality. What they will do is render the game at a higher resolution, so close to 4K, and then shrink it down to 1080p. This will result in smoother edges, virtually no jaggies, and also a more stable image. PS4 Pro owners with a 1080p screen will also get an enhanced quality of shadows and more quality textures. Stabling result in more detailed environment textures. Conclusion, your game will look just way better on a 1080p screen. I will be playing with the PS4 Pro on a 1080p screen, so to hear that the game will look even sharper is really awesome. This really sounds like Call of Duty Infinite Warfare and the Dishonored 2 PS4 Pro support, so those games simply looked sharper and had way better colors. If you got a PS4 Pro and an HDR 4K screen, yes, I'm jealous, then you will of course be able to experience Horizon Zero Dawn at a much higher resolution. It will be rendered at 2160p, which will, according to Guerrilla, look really good on a 4K TV, and yeah, I totally bet it will. They described some things that you will then be able to see, like way more detail, for example, stitching on Aloy's outfit, leaves and branches swaying in the wind, and the more detail in machines and the NPCs in the world. Okay, I'm even more jealous now. What? There is more? 4K is great, but of course HDR is really where it shines, and this will be the case with Horizon Zero Dawn as well. HDR will enhance the range of colors that can be displayed on the screen. Guerrilla describes HDR as something that you can't see. It is not in cinemas. There is no phone screen that can do HDR. The only thing you can compare HDR with is reality. The colors in Horizon already looked great, and what this PS4 Pro footage shows is that it looks even more alive, and this is even on a YouTube video 1080p non-HDR screen, so imagine this on a real HDR screen. But let's get back to what Herman said, that this was not a huge undertaking and didn't require a lot of resources, because this is great news for Sony's new console, the PS4 Pro. If developers had to put a lot of time into making PS4 Pro games, then less people would have done it. Okay, Horizon Zero Dawn would still get the same support, I would imagine, because like I said, it's a Sony owned game, a PS4 exclusive, but third party would not bother as much. As far as we know, the PS4 Pro hasn't sold 1 million units yet, so why would you spend a lot of time and money on a version that a real small percentage of the PS4 Pro or the PS4 owners will experience? I mean, there are way more regular PS4 owners, of course. But now that Herman says that it's not so hard to make PS4 Pro support for a PS4 game, this means we will see way more PS4 Pro support in the future. Herman Hulst is also not the first guy to say this. Earlier, the Helldivers developer claimed that the PS4 Pro support was overall 0.3% of the overall development effort. And yeah, that's not a lot. And we see this as well. A lot of older but mostly upcoming games have support for the PS4 Pro. Not all like Rise of the Tomb Raider with the different modes, the enhanced visuals and the more stable frame rate. But yeah, it's still like a better picture overall, a better experience. Graphically mostly. Or even in the case of The Lost Guardian, a stable 30 FPS, while on the regular PS4 it sometimes goes to 23. Will you be playing Horizon Zero Dawn on the PS4 Pro? 1080p, 4K HDR, doesn't matter, let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe for way more Horizon Zero Dawn content. Got a ton of content up on the channel, so